What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Based Off Characters. This is Ray, and I have a guest here. She's going to get into her industry, which is the film industry, which is the movie and creative side of acting. She's going to be able to tell us some things that we don't know. So, if you are interested in acting, interested in the creative space that have to do with the fine arts, I I think this lady here is going to knock it out of the park. So, the next voice you're going to hear will be from her. So, please introduce yourself to the Based Off Characters family.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. My name is Molly Breen, and I am an actor. I am also the director of a theater company in Nashville called Tennessee Playwright Studio, which focuses on new works by people in Tennessee. As an actor, I work in theater and film and commercials, so I do a little bit of both. My first love was theater, but I do film and commercials when I can as well. Basically, just all around a story person.
All right. So, my first question will be an interesting one is please tell the audience there's more that's going on in Nashville besides country music. But we all
Yeah,
know CMAs is big, but please tell them about Nashville and what else is going on there, especially in your industry.
no doubt. Nashville has a lot of people that are doing a lot of creative things in theater and film arts. As far as theater goes, we have community theater, we have professional theater, we have, I think a lot of people move here and they know there's TPAC, which is kind of the big theater downtown, but
Mhm.
there are also smaller spots that are doing really cool things. My company works at the Dark Horse Theater, which is on
Mm.
Charlotte in Nashville.
Yes.
Down the street from us is the Barbershop Theater, which also does a lot of kind of independent new works and musicals and things like that. So there's
Mhm.
really there's really a lot out there. We have the Kindling Festival each year, and that's kind of more avant-garde work. There are dancers. There's great music here, but there's a lot more than music.
All right. And I definitely know that because I know firsthand. I went to see you on the stage
Yes, you
last
did.
yesterday. So please tell the audience about the production that you had yesterday.
Okay. It is called Only Fam, and it is written by my friend Mary McCallum, who also
Mhm.
has her own theater and film company, Sister Style Productions. And
Okay.
we have collaborated together for almost 18 years. I've been in a lot of her plays, along with Sean Witzel. Actually, all the people you saw on the stage, we've been creating and doing theater for a long time together. And that play was kind of a reunion for us. So
Mm.
I had asked Mary, hey, do you want to write something for the six of us? Actually, there were seven of us, but Rashad Rayford was not able to do the play. So the six of
Oh.
us did it. And so Mary created this hilarious comedy, which is about a woman who goes home to, after her mother dies, to kind of clean up the house. And she has some drama with her brother that leads to a series of kind of crazy events. And it's just a lot of fun.
Okay. Okay. Well, tell us about the character that I seen you play.
My character is Charlotte. She is a nosy neighbor who lives next door to the family. She comes over with the intention of offering condolences and a casserole, but we learned her intentions may not just be the casserole. Um, and she's also pretty concerned that the Christmas lights are still up in after several months in the house,
Okay.
and has tried to talk to the brother about that, and uh, that sets the brother off um, to a series of events that I don't know if we spoil it if I talk about it or if it's okay.
Yeah, let's not spoil it because that's my next question. Is there a way for the audience that's not locally in Nashville to be able to possibly see, if not the full play, like snippets of it?
Yeah, we had somebody take the dress rehearsal on, this week. I'm not sure. Normally, what I do is I stream all of our plays so that
Mm,
people anywhere can see them. We have a little, there's a little legal things with this one that's not as possible to do that. But if
mm.
anybody's interested in seeing it who is out of town, they can email me and I can do what I can do with showing them parts of it.
Okay, understood.
Yeah.
All right, let's dig a little bit into you. How did you get into being a actor?
Well, when I was a child, like I said, I was a real big story person. I loved reading. My parents took me to plays when I was little, and I just kind of fell in love with what was going on up there. So I did community theater. I trained as about in ballet and modern dance. Um, so that was a real big part of my life as a child and a teenager. And then when I went off to college, I kind of thought, oh, I don't know if I could do this as a career. So did not do it. Um, and focused on other things for a long time. And then in my late 30s, I decided, that was really what I was happiest doing. So let me try to get back to doing that. So I started auditioning for things, and I just never stopped.
Okay, okay. Well, speaking of those auditions and characters that you have portrayed, give us a little tidbit of one of the characters that you absolutely love.
Okay. I will say my friend Mary McCallum, who wrote Only Fam, also wrote a play which became a film called Singleville that had myself, Mary, and Tamiko, who was also in the play that you saw. Um,
Hmm.
and we play all kinds of different characters in the film. We play men, we play women, we're old, young. It's just kind of a crazy look at dating and being single. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So
Hmm.
that went into some film festivals and won awards. And Mary's working on getting distribution now for that. So hopefully one day we can all see it. But that character was a lot of fun for me.
Okay, okay. So another thing here, I just wonder when people start doing things like this, I always come up with a particular question for my guests, and like especially like acting.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna put a scenario out here. I want you to answer.
Okay.
So let's say at your performance late, let's say it's Friday night after the
Mhm.
show's over. People come down. You see a little girl, probably 8 to 10 years old. She loves your character, and she says to you, "I would like to do something kind of like what you're doing.
Mhm.
So, is there anything that I can do, maybe like 8, 10 years old, so I can be an actor like you?" So, what would you tell that young lady?
Yeah, I would definitely say in Nashville in particular, there are programs for kids. There's the Theater Bug, which does a lot of work with kids, Nashville Children's Theater.
Hmm.
Kenny's Playhouse Theater does a youth program.
Yep.
So they're out there, and I would just say get involved in school, make up plays with your friends, just have fun doing it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Second scenario here. Let's say this is somebody that's 28, 30 years old.
Mhm.
They work a 9 to 5,
Yeah.
but they want a little something extra in their life. And
Mhm.
they've been an avid reader for a long time and they love movies and things of that sort. Let's say they want to try to audition.
Mhm.
So, two-part answer. I want you to
Okay.
prepare them for what they should expect in an audition.
Mhm.
And then, if they're in Nashville, what are some of the playhouses that they can
Mhm.
actually go to?
Yeah. Okay, in terms of what it's like to audition for theater, there are two ways that auditions are often run. One is they just want to see everyone do a monologue, which that can be a good thing because you can find something that really speaks to you and shows your abilities.
Hmm.
And you would memorize it and then you would perform it for whoever's casting the play. Another way that plays are cast are through cold reads. So you show up for the
Hmm.
audition and they give you some of the lines of the play and they just say go and you don't have to memorize anything. So there are pros and cons to both. I don't like the monologue auditions so much because I don't like to have to be, I feel like the expectation is like this should be my best work, and
Yeah.
I prefer the cold reads because I just want to get right back into whatever it is I'm auditioning for and really
Mhm.
try out those characters. Because a monologue may not show what I can do in that play.
Okay.
Um, and then as far as film auditions, it's I have an agent, so it's easier to get those kinds of auditions
Okay.
through having an agent, which you can ultimately get when you've done a lot of, theater work or found work on independent films. But there are people, there are people making stuff all the time. There are different Facebook groups you can sign up for. There's the 48-hour film fest each year in Nashville.
Yeah.
That's a good place to get set experience and get kind of thrown into the process. It's always good to be an extra somewhere just to try it out, to give yourself an idea of what it feels like to be on a set.
Okay.
And those opportunities are more open than other opportunities in film and television would be. So that's a good place to start.
Okay. All right. So you mentioned something earlier, and you
Mhm.
talked about TPAC,
Mhm.
and you mentioned them and said that they have a more on the, I guess, the bigger scale
Yeah.
of a production. So first thing, have you ever been to TPAC and actually saw a production that you know inspired you to do something? And if not, then tell people about what you know about TPAC.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I love whatever I see at TPAC, in terms of they have the big touring productions. So if you are looking to see Hamilton, that's where you're going to be able to see it.
Okay.
Or things that aren't released out to, the rights aren't released out yet. And I mean, they've got money in regional performances. So they're beautiful sets. Everything is very kind of what you would expect if you go to Broadway. So it can be inspiring to go see those kinds of big productions and see all of the elements and the artistry in theater, like the costume. That would be a different experience than going someplace that's more like we're going to work with what we have and tell these stories. So I think
Okay.
for me, I like to work in the smaller venues because
Okay.
I just like, I just like
Mhm.
creating things.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I wouldn't turn T-Pack down if they wanted me. But yeah, I mean, my focus has been toward um, toward smaller projects where I have a lot of freedom.
Okay. Okay. All right. One more scenario here.
Okay.
So we got a young writer. He
Hmm.
wants to create a play,
Hmm.
a small play, and he doesn't really know. He doesn't have money really. He
Yep.
doesn't really know where to start. So can he actually have a decent production? And if with no money, hardly any money, just a few connections of people that might want to act, can he have a legitimate, decent production with that type of income and
Yeah. I
location
mean,
and
I've
everything?
like a bunch of us that have worked together for a long time have had day jobs, have had like low budget things that we paid for ourselves out of money that we didn't really have to get things
Mhm.
together. I think if you have a good script and you're connected with people who have done this before, then
Mhm.
yes, you can put something out there that can
Okay.
be good. Your expectations just probably have to be lower in terms of, again, like big budget sets and
Okay.
all that kind of stuff. But um, yeah,
Okay. All right. So we'll get into you a little bit here.
okay.
Couple little fun things. So who, if someone didn't know you, they came to one of your productions, who are you? Are you what type of person are you in general to someone else, like someone like a fan or yeah.
Okay, so I'm
That's not
a
like an
very
interview question. I know.
sensitive person. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to be kind to people. I'm pretty introverted unless you know me really well, and then I'll talk a lot. But yeah, I'm pretty thoughtful, and I like to help people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is gonna get a little harder, but
Okay.
this is kind of like having babies.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I don't want you to choose, but can you give me your top two plays that you of all time for you?
Uh, yes. Let me think. I One of my favorite plays was written by my husband,
Mm,
Kenley Smith, and it was called Maidens. And it was
mm,
about two World War II Nazi guards who had been sentenced to death and were in jail in Poland, and what the imaginary conversation between the two of them would be. And it's pretty rough material, but we can kind of see how, it used to be like, oh, I can't imagine that happening here. Now, we can imagine these things a little more urgently in the political system currently. So that was probably one. Yeah, the other one that is my favorite, I created both a dance show and a monologue show. The monologue show I created with a friend, and the dance show I created with other choreographers about women who had been involved with JFK. And
mm.
the
That's
dance
in.
show is probably the production I'm most proud of, because that was kind of from I was involved in everything. I danced, I choreographed, I created it, I brought the people together. I found, it was my baby, and yeah, that's probably my top two
Okay. So let's go top two movies.
that I participated in.
Oh, that you this is just as a fan.
Oh, as a fan.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I'm sorry. Was hopefully that wasn't the other question I had to get it
No,
from.
no, you answer that. No,
Okay,
that's
good,
perfect.
good.
No.
Okay, what are my two favorite movies? Oh gosh, yeah, I'm not good at answering these things. Um,
Let's go make it easier.
okay,
In the last 5 years. So recent. Let's go recent.
recent movies. What have I seen recently that I loved?
Hope I make that even harder.
Yeah, be harder. I'll say this. I'll say, like, I am a fan of, like, classic movies a lot. I like It's
Okay.
a Wonderful Life, all those kinds of things. I'm a big Spike Lee fan. I like
Okay.
all his stuff, whether it's really good or not so good. I like people that just put things out,
Okay.
um, and not everything will go all the way, but I just like people that are productive and are telling stories of what they're seeing in their world, or inventing things that
Okay.
they're not seeing but are in their imagination. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. So let's get into a little softball question.
Okay.
So you're at home
Mhm.
and you decided that you want to audition for something. You get two
Mhm.
emails, right? And you got to read between the two scripts.
Mhm.
Okay. But that's not the question. The question is you're hungry. So before you read the scripts, what is your go to food while you're hungry when you're getting ready to dive into picking a script so you can audition for?
Okay, well, lately, I will tell you, I've been eating this sandwich
Oh, okay.
out of
Okay.
right here for
All right.
when we are finished, which is
Mhm.
like avocado, tomato, microgreens,
Yeah.
and sesame Ezekiel bread. That's my go-to right now.
All right. Seems pretty healthy. I like that. I like that.
I'm trying.
Okay. No problem there. All right. So you're on the internet
Mhm.
and you want to look for like, you kind of like you go to like your maybe your favorite podcast or your favorite YouTube channel. Do you
Mhm.
have anything like that? If so, let us know about
Yeah, okay, YouTube I don't watch a whole lot of, but I do listen to podcasts a lot. I like Serial. Um, I like, uh, what's the shoot, I can't think what's the one that NPR does that takes place in the prisons, and
it.
it's been
Oh,
going on for years? I can't
yeah.
think of the
I've
title.
seen I've heard that podcast.
Yes, yes. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, and then I'm always really interested in social behavior and kind of like forced social behavior, like cults or things that when people do things that they wouldn't ordinarily do. So I like
Mhm.
reading about periods in history like that, like fraternities, things, yeah,
Hmm.
where there's kind of this control over behavior and how people fall into that and how they get out of it, and so those kinds of podcasts interest me as well.
Hmm. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let me take you back a little bit here.
Okay.
Back in Nashville, I don't know how long you've been here.
I've been here since 93.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What is the biggest change that you feel like you've seen in the city of Nashville?
I think just the constant construction, the
Okay.
constant tear down of everything and building new things. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Because that's the question that me and my friends have, and I ventured downtown and seen the things that were going on there. Some things look the same, like the
Mhm.
Plumbers Alley and the certain things like that.
Yeah,
But the whole aesthetic of Nashville has changed.
yeah, for
So
sure.
what people need to know when they talk about a city, especially one that has more to offer than what you think, is
Mhm.
to really research that city. Just
Yeah.
like you research a play, you
Mhm.
don't want to just take any play. You want to
No.
make sure it
Yeah,
fits you.
yeah.
And I know that's what you do. So that's the reason why I asked you that question is I think sometimes people look at a city. I only can be in LA to act
Mhm, mhm.
or Atlanta, which they do have more things going on probably
Yeah,
to the arts.
yeah.
But a lot of times in your own city,
Mhm.
there's art programs in Charlotte. There's some
Yes.
in
Yeah.
St. Louis. There's some in, you know, Chicago,
Yeah.
whatever. Let's play. So that this is for the audience. There's more out there in your city, your surrounding area than you know about. And
Yeah.
with the internet, you can see those things. So don't say that there's nothing there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is. And a lot of times the really cool stuff just doesn't have the dollars to be in your face about here we are that say country music might. So yeah, you kind of have to dig sometimes.
I mean, even in the smallest of towns, there's been
Yep.
playwrights and actors and movie producers that came out of small towns, and they got him and your friend that kind of like two people that got kind of like a love for the arts, and they will actually create a small production,
Mhm,
post it
mhm.
online, and next thing you know,
Yeah.
you can be big. So don't
Yeah.
be, yes, yeah,
The internet really has become an equalizer in some ways because there are things that you can get discovered that way that never would have been able to happen before. Movies are so expensive to make, but now you can make one on your iPhone and you never know.
absolutely. All right, so let me get into a couple of things here with you, and this is kind of like my fast pitch,
Okay.
my round robin type of thing here. So I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to answer it the best way you can. Just the
Mhm.
first thing comes to your head.
Okay.
All right, favorite place to vacation.
The beach.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
No, that's probably mine too.
Yeah.
That's probably mine too. All right, favorite food.
Uh, what is my favorite food? I like Thai food a lot.
Mm,
Yeah.
Thai. That's unique. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Favorite way to travel, plane or boat?
Oh, I'd love to go on a boat. I don't get to do that often. Yeah, like if I could take a boat somewhere or like a train too,
Mm,
just being able to chill but still be comfortable. Yeah.
okay. Books. You rather read an audio, do an audio book, or actually read a physical book?
I do a lot of both. I usually have about 5 or 6 books I'm reading at one time, and I've got one on Libby, like the library app for audio. I've got something on my
Mm,
Kindle. I've got a hard book. I've got something on Audible. So, yeah. But I like them both. I like the audiobooks because I can walk and get things done, do the dishes. Like I don't want to waste that brain time, They you're
right.
doing the dishes. I want to be listening to something that's interesting.
Okay.
But I do like regular books too. That's what I grew up on, and yeah.
One of your favorite authors.
My favorite authors, probably my favorite author from childhood was Betty Smith, who wrote A Tree Grows in Brooklyn.
Mhm.
Um, Kind of like turn of the century around 1900 stories of women. So she's my favorite. I like I like thrillers. I like
Mhm.
fiction. I like nonfiction that reads like fiction.
Okay.
Um, so yeah.
Okay. All right. Favorite music artist.
Okay, I'm a Swiftie.
You know what?
I am.
There's nothing wrong with that. I actually, she years I always tell this story. She almost hit me one time.
Oh, for real?
I didn't know who she
Tell me
was.
more.
She was backing. It was Starbucks,
Mhm.
and she was backing out. And I'm kind of pulling around,
Yep.
and oh, she looked at me and said, "Oh, okay." And then I seen these two young girls. It's like, "Oh, that's Taylor. That's Taylor." Didn't know who it was. I didn't know until I started working in the in communication and music industry, which was only a couple years later, who Taylor Swift was.
Yeah.
This was right before she put out the song. I guess her first hit single was it Tim McGraw or one of those.
I guess I really didn't get into her until like around the pandemic. So I don't
Okay,
have that long history, but yeah, I think that her debut album, her first hit was Tim McGraw. But I got more into her when she started doing more kind of like Americana-ish stuff, and then just everything after that. I'm just, she speaks to the experience of being a young woman in many ways, and
okay,
yeah. So I'm a fan.
okay, okay. All right. Any celebrity crushes?
No.
No,
No.
not really.
Mm-mm.
Not really. So you tell me that's not somebody who was like, oh, if he, she,
Yeah.
whatever.
I'm a married
Yes, it is.
woman.
I'm married too. It always just hey. No, it's cool because here's the
Yeah.
thing. I think sometimes I had one of my childhood uh, people that I loved, felt like
Mhm.
a great actor. I actually had a chance to meet them in person. Now I wasn't meeting them,
Yeah.
but it so happened we happened to be in the same hotel.
Mhm.
And me and my cousin, we walking, and him and somebody that he wasn't supposed to be with were here. Big hotel in Atlanta.
Mhm.
Nobody there. I'm talking about the person that was at the check-in place was way over there. So
Yeah.
nobody. I was like, oh, my favorite actor. I was like, man, I was like, hey, I just want to have a picture with you. You one of my
Mhm.
favorite. He was like, no. I said, hey, man, I'm not going to send. I'm not
Yeah.
paparazzi. I'm just normal. I said, no. He was with somebody he was supposed to be with.
Mhm.
She was sitting there holding a little dog,
Yeah.
and I was
Yeah.
like,
Got
I
it.
made a couple
Yeah.
calls afterwards and found out that yeah, he wasn't supposed to be with her. I was like, okay, I understand
Yeah.
now. I
Yeah.
do understand.
It wasn't
But
anything personal.
what do you think personal? I could have very well said, okay, maybe she can't be in it. He just literally said no. So so I don't give too many people too much because I understand people have things going on that they don't want to be seen with. I'm not gonna sit there and keep begging you.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah. So
But no,
sometimes you
even
don't.
if I were single, I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
No,
It's like
okay.
I gotta meet someone to have a crush on them.
Oh,
I gotta feel what they're like as a person.
okay. Here's my last one. Here's what I'm
Okay.
gonna do. Who is a actor that inspires you every time you see her or him on film? You're just like, oh, I gotta sit there. Even though I watched it before, I gotta watch them again because this is one of my favorites.
Yeah. Um. Who do I like that much? I mean, this is. I would say I like the actors that were real grounded in the theater, like Diane Wiest, who's I don't know if
Mm,
you're familiar with her, but I
no.
like she's in a lot of Woody Allen movies, which that's
Okay.
another story. But yeah, I don't know. I like there's so many good people out there. I don't know how to
Mm.
narrow it down.
I mean, like a Denzel Washington movie.
Yeah,
Come
I
on,
mean,
I've seen
I'll
them
watch him
all.
in anything. So yeah, there we go.
Yeah, like
We can
something like
pick
that. I mean,
him. I
I
actually
don't
think
really.
Nicole Kidman is really like I filmed I was part of a movie that she's in that's going to be released next year.
Okay.
And I can't really talk much about it, but she does a lot of different things. And watching her was interesting. I think she can really get into a lot of different characters in a beautiful way.
I got a chance to. Nah, it was a husband. Who was she married to? Married to was it?
Tom Cruise,
No, not
not a
maybe
fan
I'm
of his.
thinking
Oh,
wrong.
Keith Urban in Nashville.
Keith Urban.
Yeah.
Okay, so I worked in communications and I've seen him before,
Hmm.
and apparently I'm basically taking their communication gear to them. Right, the
Hmm.
studio. He was in there. I said, oh yeah, pretty nice guy, whatever. And then one of the people from the sound that was doing the sound said, "Oh, Nicole Kidman came in too later on, probably about 10 minutes after you left." I'm like, man. So I got a chance to meet Keith, but I didn't get a chance to meet her. But
Hmm.
people are, sometimes if you catch them in the right light, they're pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Wrong light, it may be a lot different. So
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
from
I
my
never
experience,
assume that anybody is like
yeah.
they are on screen, but
Okay. All right, one last thing here.
okay.
Tell us about a new project that you're possibly working on as much as you can.
Yeah. Well, I was talking about the shows about like women that were involved with JFK. I'm doing I'm taking one of those shows, which was the monologue show, to different fringe festivals across the country this summer. And I've been casting locally for each city and doing a festival version of that. So that's what I'm
Mm.
busy working on right now. And I'm looking forward to just kind of traveling with that show and getting it in front of different audiences and stuff like
Okay.
that.
All right. The last question is for me. Got any
Okay.
questions for me? We got one.
Yeah,
We
what
got one.
motivated you to start up this podcast?
Okay. So what motivated me was I was sitting home and I watch a lot of YouTube channels and I
Hmm.
see a lot of I love interviews. I see a lot of the interview style podcast things that was actually on video. Now I'm
Hmm.
an NPR fan as well. And I said, this might be another way to meet people. I used to work security. I used to work, like club promoters and things like that. So I
Hmm.
got to meet people that way.
Yeah.
But then, I write in private. So I don't, there's no audience here rooting me on. I don't know what I'm sitting here.
Writing slowly.
Right. So I said, let me see if I can reach out to somebody that, let's talk about writing. That's what this is going to start out as. So,
Hmm.
because I was in a writers group, and then kind of COVID hit, and so no, I couldn't do that no more. So in person, so I was like, okay, let me look up. And so some people were like, oh yeah, I actually interviewed this person. I'm looking at YouTube channel, I'm looking at the Instagram. I'm like, how about if I just reach out to somebody and do that? Say, hey, I want to start a podcast. I want to talk about writing, being an author, whatever.
Hmm.
And then some people were like, well, you don't have anything, so didn't have any subscribers or whatever. So then I actually started a football channel because I
Hmm.
play football. And I told my dad I was going to get into football in some kind of way. So it was easier for me to ask somebody, play ball, son of a coach, know a lot of information, create a channel, and boom, it started to get people interested in I talk. So I
Yeah.
said, let me see if I can apply that to, because what I was missing was I wasn't giving them enough to say I'm interested in you. They just said I just want to interview you. So I said, here, I want you to talk about yourself and the things that you got going on. I've already got a small built-in artist for football. How
Hmm.
about you be a guest here? And they're like, oh, okay. So then I just started. So I'm gonna tell you, so I'm gonna give you 3 questions.
Hmm.
It was like, okay, 3 questions turned into a lot more.
Yeah.
So, and then people were interested. And now it's just building and building and building.
That's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just so glad to have you on here. And I'm gonna tell you this here before we wrap. I just appreciate you being able to give the production that you do to the national audience. It's much needed. There are people out here that want to see people like themselves on stage,
Hmm.
portray different characters, get into a character's mind. They want that. And I seen what you did last night when you was tied up. I mean, not spoil anything. Yeah, I mean, not spoil anything. But when you were in character and you were so in tune to what you was trying to say and convey the message, it was believable. So I can
Thank
tell that you
you.
were very, yes, I can tell that you were very versed into that and knowing that, okay, I gotta say what I have to say so the next line comes out makes sense.
Hmm.
And you can tell that you're good at creating a character. And I want to say
Thank
thank you
you.
for that.
Yay.
All right. So please tell the audience how they
Mhm.
can reach you, social media. Yes,
Yes. They can reach me at tnplaywrights.org is my theater company. So TN, short for Tennessee, playwrights.org. Um, we are on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I have a TikTok account, but I haven't
Mm.
TikToked yet. I don't know.
You got TikTok. I have neither,
Yeah.
but they were telling me you got to put your podcast on TikTok. You got to do this on TikTok. You
I
get
don't
more.
want one more thing. I have to check and all, but
I
yeah,
know.
yeah,
I
I
know.
probably should.
But again, you've been a great guest. I think
Thank
that
you. I was nervous. I didn't want to ramble.
it's no need to be nervous. This is nothing but a conversation. That's what someone told me one time, especially interviews. I had a lot of interviews for different jobs. And so it's just a conversation.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself to the next person. So that's all it is. This is one on one, and then whoever watches and get inspired. That's the thing.
Yeah.
They may not get inspired by the whole recording, but they will get inspired by something that you're going to say. That's the reason why I want you as a guest, and you
I
kind of
hope so. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
open
Because
people's lights, their eyes up to different things, and it's not as difficult as you think it is. It's just
right.
that you being you.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, again, I want to say thank you so much, Molly, for definitely joining me, and thank you, audience, for definitely following me. Stay tuned for my next stuff. Please hit the like button. Please share this to your people. Share this to a stranger. You never know who can get this and be inspired. Again, I want to say thank you again, Molly,
Thank
and for
you.
my guest, I want to say thank you so much. That's the best way I can ever give you, what you deserve for supporting me. Again, I want to say peace. Everybody be safe and have a great rest of your Monday. Or if you see this on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, don't matter. Just want to say thank you again. Thank you so much, Molly, and I will speak to you again.
All right. Bye bye.